Gemini, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and will not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements because you could have messages in those readings as well. Okay, Gemini, let's see. What is the energy around the week ahead for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising? Change in the wind, Gemini. Love that. Okay, there's something changing here. Oh, wow, very interesting. Okay, yeah, you're moving into what feels like a new foundation here. We've got change in the wind, take a nap, between two worlds, community, and why, with building blocks on the bottom of the deck. So looking at these cards kind of makes me feel like you may not have anticipated that you would experience this dramatic of a change at this point. I feel like you are, it's almost like you've planted the seeds for this change in the past, and now it's just starting to take off. And you can almost sort of put your mind at rest because things are transitioning in a way that it really feels like this is from efforts made in the past. So you made some significant efforts to sort of build something up, and then it's almost like it just took off recently. It feels like it's bringing you to a transitional moment, and that transition could actually bring you to a whole new community of people and experiences. It's almost like you're moving actually, like you might actually be moving, because this feels like you're transitioning into a new sort of community where, you don't have to sort of pretend or be someone you're not. I feel like you're moving into a space where it's very like-minded and you can be very authentic here. You don't have to hide anything about yourself. And I feel like you did before. It's interesting because seeing this Between Worlds card right before that community, that tells me that you're sort of moving into a space where you can be very authentic and that you don't have to compromise your integrity in order, to feel like you belong, and that, you don't have to make yourself feel small. If anything, this is a time where you can release any fear of sort of having self-expression, because I feel like you're in the right space at the right time, and like you can put your mind at rest. These changes are in motion. I feel like the momentum started up in the past, and now things are really taking off in this new direction for you, Gemini. And it's interesting because I don't think you expected this to happen. I think you sort of expected everything to just stay the same in a place where you didn't feel authentic and you didn't really enjoy what you were doing maybe. And now it's almost like things have just sort of stepped up into this extraordinary energy, and you're starting to really see that, you might want to look at why. The why that we carry. This is interesting. I feel like this is what prompted all the changes, is that you started to assess your why. And why am I doing this? And why am I doing that? And it's almost like that triggered all of these changes for you, because it's like you did some soul searching. Again, it feels like in the past, you did some soul searching to sort of develop what drives your choices. What's your why? Why do you do the things you do? Why do you make the choices you make? And I think you started to sort of get into this headspace that says, yeah, why am I motivated to continue in a path that makes me feel like unauthentic or inauthentic, and then I can't stand tall and be myself. And it's like you put all of that to rest, and that initiated so many changes for you. But now it's like the changes are sort of, they have their own momentum. And so you can just sort of sit back and be carried down this new path, which I love that for you, because I feel like you don't have to do anything right now. You did everything already when you questioned your motivations. And now change is inevitable. And it's for your higher good. It's inevitable. And it's like you're building the structure based on what your dreams are, and everything is going to turn out just as it should. I feel like you have this renewed clarity, and that you have the strength to do something now because it connects to your why, and you're feeling very authentic, and you're in a group of people that like, for lack of a better phrase, they really dig your authenticity. You don't need to hide who you are, because they love and appreciate you for who you are naturally and authentically. And I feel like you're building this new foundation, and it's really got its own energy now. It's lovely. This is a very, very nice start to your reading, because I feel like things are shifting for you. And there's been a few Gemini readings where things were really at the place of feeling stagnant and stuck. And so often that is what happens right before a big change in our lives. And so if you land into a situation where you feel really stagnating, and like things are really stuck and they're not moving, I always remind myself, now that I've had a few of these experiences under my belt, that that's a trigger for big change. And that's a signal that everything's about to shift, because nothing can stay in stagnation forever. You know what I mean? Unless we really choose it. But I feel like you assessed your motivations, and you realized that you needed to make a new choice. And there's the Gemini energy confirming that you did make a choice, and that it initiated all of these changes. You stepped into your authenticity. You decided to be yourself, and to not sort of shrink away from being yourself, and it changed so many things. Look at that. You've reversed your sense of loss and setback, and you've put that to bed. And we see the Empress here, which tells me that you're creating a new foundation for yourself. You're giving birth to something new that involves your body, mind, and soul, like something that really connects to you. And it's sort of like brought an ending and stability and a new beginning. It's interesting, because this Ten of Pentacles brings in a lot of stability and a lot of security and a lot of sort of resourcefulness, abundance, prosperity, security, a foundation. Your identity is very secure, but it's a 10. So that makes me feel like now you're on to something new. You've already sort of taken care of the security and the need for grounding, and now you're ready to move into this new place. And seeing the Four of Wands, it's like a finish line. You've crossed this finish line, and you're so much like having an inner celebration right now as you cross this sort of gateway into this new world. It's landing right on top of this Between Worlds card. So it's very interesting. It's like you're being welcomed into this new chapter of your life. And when I say you're being welcomed, it feels like you're being welcomed by people just like you. You found your niche, you found your people, and everything's really in balance right now. And it's very moderate, and it feels like things are balanced. You're in moderation. You're not in excess of anything. You're not trying to control the process. You're trusting the process. You're grounded, and you're also really open to the timing of what's happening. It's like, you feel satisfied. You feel like things are moving in a direction that feels right. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. It's just right. That's what it feels like. Really nice. And there's that Three of Wands. So you're just sort of at this place where you've made your choices. Like I said, you planted those seeds in the past, and now you're just sort of enjoying watching your ships come in. You're enjoying the energy sort of taking over, and now you're able to see things from a different perspective, and you can see what lies ahead. You're almost taking a view of all of the space you've created by choosing to sort of be in a space that feels authentic, and you're taking it all in. And I feel like you're just celebrating this new start. And there's the Fool. You took a risk, or you're taking a risk, and you're taking a leap of faith to start again. And I feel like it was not what you expected. But, when you questioned your why, when you looked at what drives you, I think you were surprised with what you found. And you were like, no, that's not what motivates me truly. What really motivates me is this. And then you started to put some energy behind that. And whenever that's what happens when we focus on something. It starts to expand, and then it creates its own energy. And I feel like that's exactly what happened here for you. And I think it actually came at a time where you were feeling really burnt out, because I remember the last few readings for Gemini was burning out and not feeling very inspired. But it's almost like you had done the energetic homework that was necessary in order for this new beginning to take hold. I felt like shuffling one more. Yeah, there's that Eight of Wands. Very fast moving energy. I almost feel like you could be moving, Gemini, but everything around you is certainly moving. And there's the Knight of Swords in reverse. So very fast moving energy as well. This Knight brings in change. Seeing him in reverse just says to me that this might be more change than you anticipated. Like, I actually think that you might move. You could be still where you're living or where you have been living, but it's almost like there's way more to this opportunity and this new beginning than you've seen so far. You've only seen the beginning, right? This still is going to grow and change and evolve, and it's like you've just given birth to a new chapter of your life. So it's still on the move, and it's still going to grow. But it's almost like when you made that choice to change something about what was happening in your day-to-day experience, you changed so many things. And it's like it's like a ripple. Yeah, there's a big ripple here, and it's still rippling out. It's not done yet. So there could be more changes that you're not even aware of. There's that Queen of Wands. You're following your passion. You're doing whatever makes you feel alive and like really connected to your energy. And there's the Chariot. I'm telling you, you could actually be moving. You could actually be relocating, because your energy's moving up and this opportunity is just kicking off. So I feel like you could be actually relocating this coming year. Yeah, celebrations, Three of Cups and the World. You're celebrating the ending of a chapter here. You're celebrating this new beginning. You're so excited for it. There's that Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck again, showing your excitement as you cross the finish line into this new start. Really nice energy in this reading for you, Gemini. Really like it. Yeah, you're moving into a new chapter here where I feel like we're seeing the Wheel of Fortune. We're seeing here that Four of Swords, which reminds us of you're sort of like recovering from your stagnant path that was sort of not taking you anywhere you wanted to go. And it's like you had time to put your mind at rest and see everything for how it really is. And I think you assessed your why. That really feels like it triggered so much for you. Now we're seeing the Death card reminding us that this was a sudden transformation, and it's just kicking off. It's just beginning. And you're going to have all of these options, Seven of Cups. And I feel like you have these options because you spent time imagining what you really wanted and what fulfills you. And you realized that what you had surrounding you was not it. And that almost moved you to look at, well, why am I still here? If none of these cups resonate for me, then what am I still doing here? And then it was like you had a spark, something shifted, you had an idea, you went for it, and now it has just exploded with opportunity. It's very healing. I feel like it has resolved your sort of burnout feeling, or it is resolving that burnout feeling. And now it's like you've realized you almost need to create an energetic barrier around yourself so that you don't find yourself in such a stagnant situation again. But I feel like that's always what happens right before a big change. So seeing the Two of Cups here on the bottom of the deck is nice because it's like you're seeing eye to eye with yourself, and you're also surrounded by like-minded people. So this is a very good opportunity for you to make some new relationships, new connections, because you're with your people now. You found your group, you found your niche. And, it's really nice to see that you're building this new foundation in an environment that loves you, accepts you, and sees you. You're being seen finally for all of your talents, abilities, and skills. You're being seen authentically for who you are, and you're being welcomed with open arms. It's beautiful. Let's see here. What does Gemini need to surrender or surrender to as they transition into this? Oh, interesting. Surrender your addictions. So there could be some patterns that need to shift next. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, overworking, taking action to begin to heal these addictions and replace them with healthier alternatives. So as you make this shift, you may need to shift some patterns of behavior as well. You're also seeing surrender to effortlessness. So stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow. And I think that's what you're doing. Instead of trying to force the river to change. And I think that's exactly what you're doing. You realize that, you might have been trying to sort of force things into place, and now you're letting things fall into place. And it's a very different energy between force and fall. It's like a complete surrender has happened here, and you are about to, wow, like this is just getting started too, Gemini. Very, very nice. Bottom of the deck is surrender any fear that may still be there. Because you are, I don't see any fear here, but perhaps as you go and things start to ramp up, you might be triggered a little bit. It just says let go of fearful stories that you're telling yourself. Continue to stay in the moment, focus on solutions, and celebrate every baby step forward. And so, along your path, I feel like that's going to be really important to sort of, if any fear does come up from the amount of change that's going on here, especially when you start changing some patterns too, to just put those fears away and stay in the moment, focusing on every little success forward. And we see here that your final card, surrender to your soul's path. And I think you have. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. And I think you are. I think you have been, and I think you are. You're stepping into that. You're stepping into your full power here, and you're really opening things up. And it's just getting started, Gemini. This is beautiful. I'm going to leave it at that for you. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope it's been helpful. If it's resonated for you, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. And I look forward to reading for you again very soon. I appreciate all your support here on the channel. And I'm sending you so much love and light, my friends. Take care. Have a great week.